Now, people, when they see me talk about God, they make it seem like I'm so holier than thou and I don't make mistakes. No, the beautiful part is I am an endless bucket of mistakes.
We all are.
But how gracious is God to be like, I get it, man.
Yeah.
And I think the way we get out of sin and the blessings that are given to us, like you are blessed. But do you know why you were blessed? Because you were given the privilege of wisdom.
Yeah.
There's another top G somewhere else. Same body, same brain, same everything.
Yeah.
But he didn't have that wisdom, and wisdom was given to you. Proverbs in the Bible was a king, and he could have asked anything from God. And he goes, I just want wisdom.
How does God give wisdom to you?
How does he give wisdom to me? First, you got to seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be open, right? So it's like, what are you asking for? For example, when I asked God to be in this meeting, right? I don't go, hey, God, please make sure I have a great podcast and I kill it and I get views. Yeah. No, I go, God, hey, let me stir up a conversation that wakes up somebody's heart. But for me to do that, I need to be prepared. Yeah. So prepare me to be a man that could talk against a man who's very diligent with his tongue. Yeah. I wasn't prepared for this. God made me prepared for this. So when I ask God for things, I don't get lazy with my prayers. I don't go, hey, God, make me a rich, famous man. No, how do you get there? If God was sitting at this table and we're going to try to conquer this world in a healthy way, how are we going to do it? We got to ask for steps. First, I need a good team. I need good hearts. Yep. I need the right tools. Yep. People are asking God as if he's a make-a-wish genie, like just like, hey, I want a baddie with a fatty. It's like, bro, what are you going, like, some of the prayers that people ask that God doesn't even deliver is better for them not to have it.
He knows best.
He knows best.
But I also feel like God gives wisdom. God gives wisdom through tribulation and suffering. I'm smarter because of jail. He wanted to teach me something.
But question, did you not ask for this life first?
Oh, absolutely.
So what came first? Was it the fact that you thirsted for a higher life, or was it that God threw you into that? Because for me, if you asked me to be a trainer, hey, I need you to train me, I'm going to put you through your test.
Oh, absolutely.
So you asked God for that.
Oh,
he
completely.
Didn't just put you in that circumstance.
And that's one of the things that's very interesting. You have people who will sit at home and pray for an exceptional life. They'll say, I don't want to live a normal life. I want an exceptional life. I want a special life, a different life. And then they'll do exceptional things. They'll fly on a private jet. They'll buy a Bugatti. They'll sit in a $10 million mansion somewhere on the coast. And then cry if they end up in jail. Exceptional doesn't always mean good. Exceptional means deviate from the norm. You begged God for exceptional. A Romanian jail cell is a unique experience, just as a Bugatti on a private jet is a unique experience. If you want the experiences, there's no light without dark. You can't have both. If you're going to pray to God and ask for all these amazing things, you have to understand there's an equal and opposite force, and you will pay the price.
And here's a beautiful thing. Let me backtrack that one line you just said. You could pray for something, but remember, there's two people on the phone listening to your prayers.
I like that.
And here's the craziest part. You know who's giving it to you.
Yep. You know. Deep in your heart, you can feel it.
Oh, of course you can feel it. You're lying to me if you say you can't feel it.
And you know what? Maybe that's where I'm self-reflecting. We're talking about being vulnerable. I'll be vulnerable. Maybe that's actually where a lot of my motivation comes from, despite the fact I think I'm genuinely putting my life and my livelihood in danger by speaking so much truth against the matrix is, if I was getting all of this money and all of this fame and I wasn't talking about God and doing good for the world, I'd be very sure the devil was giving it to me. I'd feel it. I'd feel cheap. I'd feel dirty, and I would feel anxious. Like, okay, I've got this fame. What am I doing for the world? Okay, I may be entertaining. I may get some views. I may get some clicks. But what am I giving the people who believe in me? Am I scamming them? Am I hurting them? Are they getting better? What am I doing for the people who know my name? Am I just taking all this shit from the devil and I'm not giving anything back? Am I actually making anyone feel better about themselves? And then you sit there and realize that, yeah, you are. You're taking it from the devil, and you'll pay the price tenfold with your soul. This is why I sit and find the bravery to think, I'm currently on bail in the middle of a judicial process inside of the country we are sitting in right now. I've been advised by all legal counsel to not do podcasts. Here I am doing a podcast. Why? Because I know people will listen to it and I can give a good message out there, and I believe that I can drive people in a holy direction, regardless of which religion, whether they choose Christianity or Islam. I believe there will be people who watch this and decide to believe in God. That's worth it to me. And then the money I'm achieving 10 years from now, whatever, I know it came from me trying to do the right thing. I didn't scam people on crypto. I didn't sell shit to kids. I didn't do none of that stuff. That is from the devil, and you will pay the price for that. You can't, there's no light without dark. You can't just go through life robbing banks and think you're going to get away with it.
I got a parable for you that's in the Bible, and I think this kind of relates to you a little bit. But before I say that, can I and be honest with me? Do you feel like in your heart that if you did not do that for God, or if you did not do it, you feel like it's going to be taken away from you?
Yes.
There's a parable in the Bible, and I'm going to rephrase it. So I want people to go read it because I'm going to most likely not do it justice. But I'm going to speak in a way that people can understand. We'll say a king comes up to 3 servants. He goes, I'm going to give you 4 pieces of gold. Or no, crops. We'll say crops, right? 4 crops for you, 2 crops for you, 1 crop for you. Go, plant your fields. The one with 4 goes, awesome. Look what God gave me. Boom, boom, boom. And he made it like so much. The second one who had 2, he goes, wow, he gave me 2. Boom, 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 boom. And I did it. Okay. The one who has 1 goes, oh man, I don't want to mess up the one thing that he gave me. I'm going to give the other guys like 4, and then 3. And then I'm going to mess this up. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hide it. I'm going to hide it. And then when God comes back, I'm going to be like, hey man, I didn't lose it. Look, I have it right here. You know what God did? He cursed them. He said, give it to me. And he gave it to the one who could multiply it. Because at the end, he thought that all of the glory was because of him. But he should have known that if it did well, it was going to be for God. So there was no failing. You have to go out and know that everything was given to you. And it's a privilege to be in the chair that you're in.
Absolutely.
To have that voice that you have that could tune into so many of these kids' ears.
Yep. There's
a responsibility that you're holding. I truly think the next journey that you're going to have is a spiritual one.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Oh, and you're completely right. And when you asked me the question that I said yes to, the reason I said yes is if God gave me this platform and then I acted a coward, and I was afraid to talk because of the Matrix, or because they came for me, or because I'll lose my money, or because they'll lock me up, I would pay for that cowardice.
You would give it to the one who's not a coward.
You'd give it to the man who's not a coward, which might be the reason they gave it to me in the first place. Because I was the one who was standing up fighting against all this shit earlier on. I was the one who did it. I was the one who went nuts.
And I think that's why you were boasted in pride, because at the moment he's like, I'm not going to remove that from him just yet.
Yeah.
Because that's what's fueling him.
Yeah.
Regardless, I need him to do that job.
Yeah.
Apostle Paul, he killed people. He was killing Christians. He just destroys this Christian that was a disciple in front of him. And that Christian was like, this is so predictable. Look at you guys. He goes, you guys have done this on and on and on. And then God took Paul and made him one of the greatest disciples. This is an ongoing thing that people don't understand. It's usually the people that God, the humans would be like, God would never use that guy. And then there's like, oh, use that guy. When Jesus was born, the first thing they ask is, from where? That's their first question.
Yeah.
From the ghetto? What good comes from that place? Why the kings of kings is coming from there? Don't believe it. Yeah. Are kings coming in on a donkey? I don't believe it. Yeah. I know you don't talk to people. I know that after you're done with a podcast, you kind of go on and do what you need to do. But I would love to stay in contact because I feel like we could sharpen each other.
I think so too. I think it'd be very interesting, certainly.
I think, to be honest, I would love to extend the conversation, but sometimes when I feel like it's ready to go, it's ready to go.
We have part 2 already lined up, so it'll happen some point in the future.
Thank you so much for being here, man.
Anytime.